Hello, ladies and gentlemen, this is Eddie Marcus one more time. I declare this is probably the fourth video that I'm posting this morning alone. Well, I know what you say about Donald Trump. You think Donald Trump's his tweets are pathetic. I sure hope I don't come off as being pathetic. In other words, I really hope that what I'm saying in all of these instances really have some significance, really have some meaning that works for not just me, but for you and for us as well. Today I wanted to leave with you a message about understanding perhaps how the world got the way it is by using an example that might be kind of, easy for you to understand. And I want to use for that example sex as the example of the original law. And what I'm saying about that is this, ladies and gentlemen. The message that you have been given about in the garden with Adam and Eve, Adam and Eve and God. God actually created this whole thing for Adam and gave him authority over all things and said nothing was to be denied them. But there was one restriction, and that is they should not eat off the apple tree now, or eat off the apple, or eat off, whatever you want to call it, tree of knowledge, whatever you want to call it. The whole thing was disobedience. There was to be no disobedience in order for you to enjoy the full measures of life that had been designed for you. Now, many of you might wonder, what does that mean? Obey the things of life that would give you life and avoid those that would give you death, disobeying a rule or whatever. Well, see, when we think about disobeying the rule, we might think about law as we understand law to be. And in an instance, it is just that. And there's a law that says something is real. That's a law. Something is real. Now, the law in pertaining to this was that to continue to experience the beautiness of heaven and all that other kind of stuff and the fulfillment that God had designed for people to experience and engage in would be based upon the natural order of things. That was the basic thing, the natural order of things. The natural order of things. That was a law. So what actually happened is they violated the natural order of things. Now, what that was, I don't know. But I do know the outcome of it. What it did, it took them off the natural order where things would just happen automatically. It took them off that path and put them on a path of doubt. It put them on a path of not being sure. You couldn't be certain, and not being certain, you try a lot of things. You can be misled, misguided. You try this and try that, and the more things that you try, the more confused you actually become, because now you don't know what is proper, what is going to be the best thing. And so you find yourselves, in order to pursue what you are trying to get back to that nice thing, that original thing, trying to get back to it without doing what you have to do to get back to it, you end up lying, you end up cheating, you end up stealing, you end up killing, you end up creating an atmosphere for racism and bigotry and hatred. All of these things happen because you violated the natural order of things. And in order for you to get back there, you don't know what to do. Well, when I say I want to associate that with sex, I'm going to share it with you like this. You've always heard, do not commit adultery. And usually when that was referred to, that was saying in a marriage situation, don't commit adultery. Then they would say, I guess we'll just use the term fornicating. Don't do no fornicating. Now what that actually said was, don't be out there having no sex, first of all, until you get married, and once you get married, don't be having sex with nobody else. That was a natural order of happiness, but when you don't know and you try different things, you're confused, you don't know. Now let me show you what that means. You know, when you, just like when God gave said about the natural order of things is where you will find your peace and your prosperity and your happiness and your joy, that in a natural order. That was saying, stay away from things that will take away your natural joy and peace and order. Well, when a lady, when you said, don't fornicate, yeah, I guess I'm getting back on track now. Don't fornicate. Don't be out there having sex. Wait until that moment when it's proper to have sex. Wait until that moment when it's proper to have sex. Now, we don't actually know when that moment is. But what God has put together, no man can put asunder. That's for sure. But don't be out there having sex. Now, what do I mean by that? If you abstain and never engage in sex, the first man that you have sex with, his penis can be the size of your thumb. And it will be the biggest penis you ever had. And whatever big penises do, that's what that big penis, the size of your thumb, will be doing to you. And if you obey, never commit adultery, you had the best thing that life ever offered. You see, the only requirement is that it's in your heart, it's in your mind. But now, let's say somebody decide that they ain't do that. They gonna try, they gonna fornicate. And now once you fornicate, you might as well just go ahead on and fornicate. So you fornicating here and there. You find and you're engaging yourself in sex with penises from the size of your thumb to the size of your arm. And now you end up getting married to the size of your thumb. That ain't gonna work. Why? Because you violated the natural order things. And the reason that they said don't do this is because you would never know the difference. You would never been confused. You've never been confused. And you're never going to be satisfied again. Never going to be satisfied. So anyway, I thought I'd just take that message to say that just like people mess around with the rules or natural order things as far as life is concerned, when it comes down to whatever it takes, whatever is required to live, to survive, utilizing the gifts that God has given them as individuals, using that with the resource that God has given us, and for the betterment, just following the natural order thing. But you got choice. I guess choice of self. Choice of self became your worst enemy. I think I called this when choice became your worst enemy. But if choice became your worst enemy, then why did God give you choice and it's going to be your worst enemy? I don't know that. I'll be back on that one. Okay? I want to thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for giving me this your time. Until next time, Eddie Marcus saying goodbye.